Hi guys, Dr. Holly here, and I'm going to give you my accountability post for week number 2 of the New Revolution Challenge. So many of you have on the site every Friday telling me all the things you're doing, being accountable. There's so much good support. We got to keep this going. So this is my accountability post, and I hope you can also help me and I can help you. So looking at week 2, what happened? You remember my goal is to lose 20 pounds. This week I only lost 1 pound. So I lost 1.8 the first week, 1 pound the second week. So I have a total of 2.8 pounds, which is not on track. That is not where I want to be. Definitely have decided that losing 20 pounds was a aggressive goal. I still think I can accomplish it, but it's not going to be a walk in the park for me, which, you know what, that probably makes sense. It's not what we're doing is not a walk in the park. It definitely can be difficult. So I've got to step it up this week. In terms of my number 2, my goal was to do that morning ritual. And I'm great at that, and I love that. It really does set the day, and I've noticed a huge change when I get up and I set my intention. I read my why, I do my gratitude, and I do my meditation, which has become my morning ritual. The day just seems to go so much better. So I'm in love with that, and I'm doing it because it makes me feel better. And I also did make it to yoga twice. So that's good. I'm still a little iffy on the yoga, but I did it twice, so I hit my goal, and I think I'm starting to kind of like that. It's a little difficult, but I'm starting to like it. But back to the weight loss. You know, I didn't really hit what I thought I should be hitting. I really should be hitting closer to 2 pounds a week. So what I do when you don't hit your goal, or when you think that you're not succeeding in some way, the thing I always like to do is kind of sit back and say, okay, you know, did I do the behaviors? Was I 100% on plan? You know, so for me, it's a weight loss plan. Did I do everything I do that I should do? You know, am I 100% on plan? And when I really look back and be honest with the week, no, there was definitely some things that slipped. And one of the biggest things that slipped for me is I did not get in my morning cardio every single morning. And the mornings I got it in, I didn't do it at a very high intensity. But I even skipped it a couple mornings. And, you know, and the voice in my head said, Holly, you're too tired. You got to bed too late. Gave me all these reasons. But when push comes to shove, I've said this is going to be a priority. I know I need to do it. And I didn't do it. So I'm being honest. I didn't hit that. So what do I do with that? Well, first of all, I recognize it. I own it. So I own that I did not get up in the morning and do the cardio I needed to do. I own that I didn't hit the intensity I needed to. And I didn't hit my goal. So I own it, and then I let myself off the hook. I say, okay, that's what happened, but then I learn from it, and that's the step that a lot of people don't do. So I'm going to look back and say, okay, what can I do differently this week to make sure I get up and hit that cardio, and that I do it with a high intensity? Because I've decided I'm going to have to sweat. Sweat's going to have to happen, or I'm not going to make my goal. So I better just get it out of my head that I'm going to be able to do it with a little bit of walking, because I'm not. I'm going to have to sweat. So what do I do? How do I make this next week different? And that's the key. That's how you grow. That's how you learn. That's how you eventually do reach your goals. So if I look at it, I said, I've got to make it easier. It's so hard. It feels so hard for me in the morning. I'm great in the evening, but it feels hard for me in the morning. So what am I going to do? And one of the things that I teach to make it easier is to put little routines in place that make the hard behavior easier. All the State of Slimmers and Destination Boot Camps know about routines and rituals, but a routine is a small, easy behavior, something that you can do that's pretty easy that makes the hard behavior easier. So the hard behavior is me getting up in the morning and running on the treadmill. What can I put in place this week that's going to make that easier? So I thought really hard, and I came up with a couple things. For one thing, I'm going to get in the bed at 10 p.m., and I'm going to have a timer on my TV that it turns off. Because even if I get in the bed, I sometimes keep the TV on. Not a good thing. So timer on my TV set. Doesn't take a lot of willpower or anything. That's going to just happen. And I think that's going to get me in bed earlier. It's going to help me then not be as tired in the morning. Number 2, I'm going to put out what I'm going to wear the night before. And the first thing, when the alarm goes off, I'm not going to think about anything. I'm just going to put on what I'm going to wear, and I'm going to go get on the treadmill. So I'm going to make 2 changes. I'm going to get to bed earlier, put a timer on my TV, and I'm going to have my clothes ready, put them on, and just head to the treadmill and just start walking. And hopefully that will kind of break that cycle where I'm trying to convince myself that I'm telling myself it's okay if I don't get on. I'm telling myself that I don't need to work out this hard. I'm telling myself that it's legitimate not to do it. Rationalizing, basically, right? That's that old story piece coming back for me, that I'm too busy, too tired, all those things. So I'm going to try to break that this week. And so I am hopefully going to be doing my cardio every single morning at a very high intensity, at enough that I can sweat. And I'm going to do that by putting some routines in place that's going to make it easier. So guys, that's where I am. 2.8 pounds of weight loss. I've got quite a bit to go. It is important to me, so I'm reading my why, realizing that I really, really want this and why it's important to me. And hopefully that will also help. So everybody, give an accountability post this week. Tell us what's working. Own it, and then say how you're going to change it. How are you going to put something in place that's going to make it easier for a behavior that perhaps was hard or something you didn't do in the past week. So great to see y'all. I will see you next week. Keep posting on the Facebook page. Love y'all. Bye.